Hello, beautiful people. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you may be catching this. Welcome back to Coffee and Conversation. Thank you to all those who have subscribed or just stopped long enough to watch and listen. Your support is greatly appreciated. This week's topic is a tough conversation, so I want to start by saying this. I know dating is hard. Relationships are hard. And when you've been deeply and repeatedly hurt, it's natural to want to tap out and swear off dating altogether. I get it. I've been there. And I'm not here to drag anybody or tell you what you should be doing with your heart. Today is more of a gentle reflection, a moment for honesty with ourselves. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, and get comfortable. Let's dive in. A few days ago, while I was doom scrolling, don't act like you don't do it too. I stumbled across this clip of a guy dragging Clay Thompson over the way he was apologizing to Megan Thee Stallion because he was running late to take her to the airport. The whole video was centered around this clip, and it was focusing on the anger and the character attacks that Clay Thompson and Russell Wilson had received from other men because of how loving and dependable they had been to their mates, which of course would have the comment section completely on fire and in a tizzy. Women were saying, "This is why I'm done dating." There were older women who were saying they hadn't dated in 15 to 20 years because, and I quote, "not one man I was with was worth my time." And there were men who were chiming in too, but the genuine and shared consensus was that everyone was done with dating. They'd rather be single. And listen, I get it because there was a point in time that I felt the same way. We've all had experiences that left us disappointed and heartbroken or drained. But there was something that was missing from the whole conversation, and that's what caught my attention. Not one person mentioned the patterns. No one mentioned their wounds. And definitely no one mentioned that they'd healed the wounds that had them repeating the patterns. And before you roll your eyes and come for me in the comments, stay with me because this isn't about blame. This is about awareness. One path on my healing journey required that I look at my own dating history. Now, mind you, I didn't start dating until I got to college. And so I had to take a trip down memory lane. And what I realized was so humbling and real. All of my exes had one common denominator: me. And that wasn't an insult to me. That's not an insult to them. It was an awakening. When we date from our wounds, we choose people who feel familiar, not people who feel healthy. If you grew up around instability, chaos feels like home. If you grew up around emotional distance, bare minimum, affection feels like love. If you grew up taking care of everyone else, users and takers don't look like red flags. They feel familiar. We've all heard it or felt it. I feel like I've known them my whole life. It's because you have. You've known that chaos that they bring your whole life. When we date from our wounds, we don't see people clearly. We see them through our survival instincts. We're attracted to what feels familiar, not what's healthy. We call chaos chemistry. We call anxiety connection. We call being triggered feeling butterflies. And we don't even realize it's our nervous system, which, by the way, was trained by our trauma, that's picking our partners, not our healed self. And until we heal, we keep replaying the same experience. Same spirit, just with different faces. That's why you'll hear people say, every person I dated was a liar, a cheater, or manipulator. Everybody I love ends up hurting me. But here's the thing, if every person you've ever dated had the same traits, that's not the universe doing us dirty. That's a pattern calling for our attention. And again, this conversation is not about blame or shame because Lord knows I have been there multiple times. It's just honesty. It's patterns that come from survival and they come from what we were taught love was supposed to look like. However, once we start healing, our taste changes, our standards change, our patience for dysfunction changes. Healing makes you uninterested in the people who used to excite you. It makes you bored by chaos, and it makes inconsistency not just unattractive, but unacceptable. The type of person you're drawn to as well, or who is drawn to you, starts to shift completely. Healthy love doesn't feel like a never ending, jerking roller coaster. It feels like rest, peace, calm. So, no, dating isn't hopeless. There are good people out there. There are good relationships built on love, respect, softness, and safety. But to experience them, you have to show up as the healed version of you, not the wounded one. And the healed version of you won't be choosing the same partners anymore. Look, I'm not here to tell anyone to keep dating or stay hopeful. I just want to encourage you that if you do decide to date again, let it be from your healed self, not your hurt self. Because your healed self has different standards, different boundaries, different desires, and attracts a different kind of love. A grown love, a peaceful love, a reciprocal love. Thank you for joining me for today's coffee and conversation. Don't give up on love. Stay on your healing journey. The path leads to experiencing love in an amazing way. Keep going, keep healing, and remember, God's still writing your story. I'll see you next time. Peace.